rally in the Capitol.
I doubt that Trump personally has a whole lot to do with this particular issue.
More on the latest from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau shutdown. Media industry leaders unite.
Very happy about this great organization.
At a convention all about content marketplace in South Florida. Honoring activism and community impact.
We must know the contributions that we have made to society.
A special tribute during Black History Month. And Heat fans give their takes.
Wiggins is great.
On Jimmy Butler's exit and the team's new members. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Ivani Lewski.
And I'm Stephanie Tenia. Today is Tuesday, February 11, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
We begin with a developing story out of Washington, D.C., where the sudden shutdown of Consumers Financial Protection Bureau has sparked outrage and protest. The CFPB was created to protect Americans and financial fraud.
Now, it has been frozen by the Trump administration. Caplin DC Bureau reporter David Lascano talked to some of the protesters at the demonstration and brings us this story.
I'm here in front of the CFPB building where a large demonstration is underway. We're seeing signs, we're hearing chants of these protesters who have gathered here to express their outrage on Donald Trump's decision to shut down the agency, declaring a work pause and restricting its operations. Over the weekend, work has stopped at the CFPB headquarters in Washington, D.C. after the Bureau's new leader, Ross Vaught, told employees to stay home and not do any work. The shutdown affects approximately 1,700 people. The Bureau had an $833 budget for the 2025 fiscal year, but Vaught posted on X that CFPB will not be taking its next draw of an appropriated funding because it's not reasonably necessary to carry out its duties. The shutdown is part of a broader effort by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to downsize federal agencies.
I actually doubt that Trump personally has a whole lot to do with this particular issue, but he has handed power to other billionaires.
If you shut them down, we go back to the kinds of things we had before the financial crisis, where people were getting unaffordable mortgages, where people were getting ripped off with all these high credit card fees, overdraft fees. The CFPB has helped make that all better for consumers.
A battle of people who have the least power being stripped of their means by those who now have the most power.
Senator Elizabeth Warren, who helped create the agency after the financial crisis 2007 and 2008, was at the protest accusing Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Vaught of attempting to gut the agency.
I am here with you to fight for our Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
As the political battle for the CFPB's fate intensifies, the future of financial protection for millions of Americans hangs in the balance. For now, the doors remain closed and the fight for its existence continues. From Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm David Lascano.
It seems that when President Trump changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico through an executive order last month, many people turned to Google Maps to check. At the time, it still showed Gulf of Mexico. However, Google Maps has now updated the name to Gulf of America. The company follows a policy of updating names when official government sources make changes. In Mexico, the name Gulf of Mexico will remain, but users from other places in the world would see both names displayed.
A fender bender with a tree results in a legal nightmare and time in jail for a woman in Florida. Janelle Guzman was parking at her job when she noticed a tree putting pressure on her car. She parked at another spot, but her car was damaged. Days later, she put in an accident report with the Cape Coral Police Department. What started as an attempt for help ended in handcuffs.
I don't think that it was fair what they did to me. They ruined my life. I don't eat well. I don't sleep well.
To the Cape Coral Police, this counts as a hit and run, a misdemeanor crime. The state attorney dropped the charges but left Guzman with thousands in legal fees and car repairs. But what affects her most is emotional trauma.
This morning, an strange sunset is concerning beachgoers after a new discovery washed up on South Florida beaches. From Lake Worth to parts of Miami, the balls of what appears to be tar oil show up on shore Saturday. Beachgoers call it a black sticky mess. Some say they have never seen something like this before and were surprised to see the oil stain on the bottom of their foot. As precaution, beaches in Fort Lauderdale were closed to swimmers.
Can't go in the water, and it's such a pretty day. And we were out here walking earlier today, and we got a little bit of oil on our feet, and we had to go back to the hotel and wash it off. It's really hard to get off our feet.
According to the Coast Guard, the source of the oily tars remain unknown and further assessment will continue.
Miami-Dade County is dealing with backlash this morning after going back and forth over plans to build a new trash incinerator.
Caplin News' Chelsea Rosario has more.
The Government Center in downtown Miami is where county commissioners have set up yet another meeting to discuss the future of a potential incinerator right here in South Florida.
It's been 2 years since the fire that destroyed the county's original incinerator in Doral, setting ablaze not only the facility, but the resolve of those who oppose it. Not in our backyard, is what South Florida residents are saying in response to the county's plans to possibly rebuild the site. This meeting was part of an ongoing workshop originally held late last month to explore waste management alternatives, and this time, the public was allowed to voice their concerns.
These people, a lot of these folks are suffering from huge health issues. If you put an incinerator in our backyard, it would increase our health risk.
In a recent memo released by Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, she backtracked and urged commissioners to drop the incinerator option and instead continue to long-haul waste due to financial concerns.
We explored composting, we improved our recycling, we're exploring all different kinds of technologies. So it's not a one-size-fits-all, it's a comprehensive strategy. That's why I wanted a waste campus. So we will continue to explore all of those alternative technologies, and of course, new things will be emerging, and we'll be in a position to take advantage of those as well.
Commissioner Regalado, who originally called for this meeting, has advocated for multiple waste management strategies at the same time.
So I think today there was an understanding that we need a portfolio, that we need tools, that those tools are going to give us options, and that we cannot rely on one methodology for trash.
Commissioners will also be considering a proposal that states that if an incinerator is built, it must be outside of the city of Doral, the town of Medellín, and Northwest 58th Street.
And after months of controversies and delayed votes, the final vote on the garbage incinerator has once again been pushed back, this time till February 19th. In downtown Miami, Chelsea Rosario reporting for Caplin News.
2 American tourists in the Bahamas were involved in a shark attack over the weekend. Bahamas police said the incident occurred when 2 women were swimming in Bimini Bay on Friday. Both were airlifted to a hospital to treat the injuries, with one of the women's wounds described as serious condition. According to the Florida's Museum International Shark Attack file, it's rare for shark attacks to happen in the Bahamas. Authorities are currently investigating in Bimini.
An annual TV convention returns to South Florida, where streaming and cable networks compete and come together to collaborate with new ideas for the media industry. Caplin News reporter Daniela Zulueta has more on the event from downtown Miami.
The annual TV convention, known as NAPI, is back in Miami for its 60th year. The National Association of Television Program Executives is a 3-day conference, and their mission is to deliver a world-class international content marketplace for its independent distributors, producers, and key buyers from leading networks and studios. Comedian Jeff Batts, host and producer of Comic Invasion, attended the convention to find a home for his show.
I was just doing stand-up with guys, and we're traveling, and America's a weird place. People take pride in strange things. Like one of the places we went to, they had a whole shrine to the gallows where they had the last public execution of a bootlegger back in the day. And that's the big deal. You know, people pull off the interstate to go to this town.
Worldwide Audiovisual Women Association, a non-profit organization, connect women in the audiovisual industry.
We are very happy about this great organization that grows every single day, because when we started in 2017, we never thought that, in our vision, of course, that we always want more and more. But the truth is that we realize what we put in the vision and the mission.
Industry leaders such as Kelly Day, VP of Amazon Prime, and #1 best-selling author Tony Robbins, and TV producer Chris Abrego gave their insight in the media crossover from TV to streaming networks and their experiences in the industry. And the ever-changing landscape of television, the shows that you might see here today might be coming soon to your mobile devices and desktop. In downtown Miami, for Caplin News, I'm Daniela Zuleta.
We are a week and a half into Black History Month this morning, and today we take a look at the legacy of Harriet and Harry Moore. Caplin News reporter Don Booth was in attendance during an event to honor their memory.
I stand in front of the Marshall L. Davis African Heritage Culture Arts Center. We welcome Black History Month with tribute to Harriet and Harry Moore, two courageous civil rights activists whose lives were tragically taken for standing up for justice. Today we honor their legacy with a preview of the film The Price for Freedom, starring Mario Van Peebles, along with expert insights, powerful performances, and an art gallery tribute. Come take a look as their resilience continues to shape the African American experience. At the Marshall L. Davis Cultural Arts Center, history came alive as students from across Miami-Dade gathered to honor the legacy of two fearless civil rights pioneers, Harriet and Harry T. Moore.
The stories that we need to save most are the ones in which blood was shed for the sake of advancement for Black people. And that's what happened. Every time I go to a grave, including the Moores, I want to cry, but I don't. So sadness, respect, appreciation, and the will to make sure that the stories remain alive.
Harriet and Harry Moore dedicated their lives to the struggles for equality in the segregated South. As educators and activists, they fought against racial injustice, challenging voter suppression, and advocating for the rights of Black Americans. Their bravery came at a tragic cost. On Christmas night in 1951, their home was bombed by white supremacists, ending their lives but igniting a movement.
We must know the contributions that we have made to society and know that we can walk with our heads high and our shoulders up instead of down, and to ask ourselves, where can I pick up to make the next contribution despite what is going on around me?
That's all for today's tribute to Harriet and Harry Moore. Their legacy reminds us of the ongoing fight for justice and the strength of those who paved the way. Thank you for joining me. I'm Don Booth for Caplin News.
The Miami Heat look to veer their Eastern rivals, the Boston Celtics, with a new roster.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Still processing it. I'm still processing.
Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts takes a trip to the magical world of Disney. Newsbreak will be back in a minute.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Going to the Disney World after winning the Super Bowl has been a staple in American culture, and the MVP, Jalen Hurts, carries it on. Disney hosts the celebration of a lifetime for the Philadelphia Eagles and their quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Hurts is still soaking in the moment. He reflects on his journey from setback to triumphs and what it means to bring another championship home.
Still processing it. I'm still processing it. I don't know if there's an expected feeling you're supposed to feel. I just think about all the work and all the effort and all the time, all the blood, sweat, and tears that have been put in over the course of my career, and all of the lessons learned through the ups and the downs. And so it's something, something that I appreciate a ton. I give a ton of gratitude to everything I've had to endure. And also give a ton of gratitude to my teammates, my family, and all the support.
As he takes in the celebration, Hurts embraced the moment, enjoying delicious food, thrilling rides, and an unwavering support of passionate fans.
Last night, the Miami Heat played their first home game since trading Jimmy Butler. Caplin News reporter Jose Rodriguez spoke with fans about their reactions to the trade and their thoughts on the new roster.
The Miami Heat are back at the Kaseya Center for the first time since trading Jimmy Butler, and the roster has a whole new look. Is this a fresh start or a step back? Today, we'll find out how fans truly feel about this new team.
I've always been a fan of Jimmy, and so when he got to Miami, I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah, it was disappointing.
The Miami Heat finally made it home yesterday after 4 games on the road. With the Jimmy Butler trade now behind, fans are moving forward with this new roster.
The thing is, I think it's not a bad trade at all. Wiggins is great. I think Wiggins is a better shooter, he's better at defense, and he's got a ring.
For some fans, this was the move in the right direction, but not everyone is convinced that the new roster can fill Butler's shoes.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody really could fit as good as Jimmy has done the past few seasons. Amazing place to play basketball, and we have amazing fans, so I would just say enjoy the ride, like all of the other players have done.
Through highs and lows, some fans have stood by the team no matter what, like Aileen Broyles, a season ticket holder since 1988.
We'll be in the playoffs. I'm not sure how far we'll get. I'll be disappointed if we don't go to the final rounds, but I've been here from a long time and I've watched a lot of disappointment. I just want the team to play to their talent.
The new era of the Miami Heat is here, and while the roster has changed, the expectations haven't. Yes, they now have Andrew Wiggins stepping into a key role, but the team still needs to find the rhythm. The road to the playoff will be challenging, but the journey starts today. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Jose Rodriguez.
The revamped Miami Heat made their debut last night against the Boston Celtics, and it looks like they have a lot of work to do. The game started off well for the Heat with 6-point lead despite Tyler Hero sitting out due to an illness. However, all it took was one play for Boston to gain momentum and take it through the whole game. Our new starters, Andrew Wiggins and Davion Mitchell, ended with 11 and 4 points. The final score was Boston 103, Heat 85. The Miami Heat will go to Oklahoma City to play the Thunder tomorrow at 8 p.m. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Stephanie Tenia.
I'm Ivan Ilewski. Get more news anytime at CaplinNews.fiu.edu.